This is the kind of sight that you will never, ever see again. So, welcome to the last flying season of this British aeroplane that represents the very best imaginative thinking out of the box virtues of aeronautical design and engineering. Here she is, Avro Vulcan XH558 and the Red Arrows. Drops away out of the formation, I think you'll agree that that is as near perfect formation as you could expect to see. By the man who designed the fantastic Lancaster bomber, which we've been so missing. But it's interesting to go back to Chadwick's. Incidentally, he was born and brought up just north of Widnes, so a local man. But if you compare his 1941 design, the Lancaster, that's when the Lancaster first flew, and the Vulcan, which first flew in 1952, so only 11 years later, they might as well have come from different centuries. Any runway. She's starting to accelerate from the left. Those engines and the fact that she's 10 tons lighter than she used to be when she was in RAF service. You can't have the engines at full chat for very long. You'll exceed all the speed limits. You can whisper round the place. It's an amazing airframe, this. It's very slippery, not much drag. She just glides along and can do it very quietly when she wants to. So, I was talking about Martin Withers. Right at the end of Vulcan's operational career, that was in 1982, she hit the centre line of the Port Stanley runway, which was occupied by the Argentines in the Falklands, with one bomb and the edge of the runway with another. That was out of dropping 21 bombs, 21 1,000-pound bombs, not far short of 10 tons. That's what you had to do with wartime non-guided weapons, dumb bombs as they're referred to. And you can see how stealthy she is. She creeps up on you and she has that slim look coming towards you. The sound of those four Bristol Olympus 202 engines, about 16,500 pounds of static thrust from each of them, 65,000 pounds in total, give or take. So the wheels are down. Obviously she's not going to land here, but we see her coming by with the gear down, all 18 wheels, 16 wheels on the main undercarriage and 2 on the nose wheel. And as she comes abeam the centre point of the display, I'll expect to see them retracting the undercarriage back into their bays. That raid on the Falkland Islands was 7,760 miles round trip, the longest bombing raid in history at the time, and it involved 11 Victors refueling, and 18 air-to-air refuelings had to take place to enable this aircraft to get from Ascension down to the Falkland Islands and back again. It was a very close thing. Undercarriage retracting back. popular when she was in RAF service. This particular aeroplane was kept on long after the other operational aircraft had ceased flying as part of the Vulcan display flight. The Air Force finally got rid of her in 1993, her last display season 1992. And she was bought by David Walton, and he and Dr. Robert Fleming are the men who really caused this aeroplane to be back with us today. Bombay doors coming open as she goes by now. That is the size of the bomb bay. That is the heart of the bomber. That's the bomb bay that carried those 21 1,000-pound bombs, as I said, not far short of 10 tons. So David Walton and Robert Fleming decided that we ought to have a Vulcan fly again. Everybody said it couldn't be done, and it very nearly couldn't. On many occasions it nearly failed. But with the help of the Heritage Lottery Fund and money from industry and money from you, that was the important thing, she finally got airborne again in 2007. It was an extraordinary moment, and it had cost about 7 million quid so far to get her airborne again for the second time. As she comes back in front of us this time, you'll see the Bombay doors closing. That Bombay these days full of the names of people who've contributed to this aircraft being continuing to fly. So to get her to the stage at which we see her today has cost roughly 23 million quid. That is extraordinary. And not only has it... Shut up. Has it been an amazing engineering project to get this aeroplane back in the air. It's also been an amazing fundraising project. She still costs £2 million a year to run. That's £38,500 a week, give or take. So, altogether, the Vulcan to the Sky Trust has done some absolutely amazing things. I was talking about the engineering. Somebody who isn't on board is Taff Stone, the crew chief and the chief engineer. He always says, 558 is my baby. I always refer to the aeroplane as she. People tell me I shouldn't, but Taff says she's high maintenance. Amazing design from Roy Chadwick. It's a bomber, but it flies like a fighter. And indeed, all Vulcans have, instead of the usual control yoke that you have in a big bomber in front of the pilots, you have fighter-type control columns. And you can see from the agility that we saw just there that that's really the result of some absolutely amazing more displays to do, and then 2 big tours of the country. Why? Well, 3 technical authority companies have decided that they can't support Vulcan anymore. That's BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce and Marshall Aerospace. And without their support and their signatures, she loses her civil permit to fly. So she will become illegal at the end of this season. This is her final pass. Time to wave goodbye. So, what's next? Well, the Vulcan team and the Aviation Skills Partnership are going to create a new life for her as the dynamic centrepiece of the Etna project at Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. It'll be an aviation academy and a heritage skills centre. It will showcase technological achievements and advancements. It's called the Etna project because Mount Etna was the workshop of the god Vulcan. The Etna project will be like the Eden project, but for engineers. And as she goes away, I think we should probably remember the words of the great Dr. Seuss, you know, The Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He wrote, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." If you can't manage that, at least a little smile through the tears would be appropriate.